wonderful Sunday morning on this witchy hour. This will be your host, Witchy Tom, broadcasting to you live. Well, what we got going on this evening, folks? There's lots of the news. Witchy is going to get gossiping because regular news is just making Witchy so terribly boring. We jumping over here to wonderful website of PerezHilton.com. If you ain't heard of Perez Hilton, you got to be in the know because you ain't been around. Well, apparently, Lindsay Lohan is back in the news, and Lindsay Lohan speaks out after being found unconscious. Ooh, big surprise. When you get drunk every day, you're surprised that you wake up drunk or unconscious in your Ritz-Carlton hotel room? Well, we were scared silly when we heard Lindsay Lohan had been found unconscious in her Ritz-Carlton hotel. But as it turns out, she was getting all the Z's she could grab after being a little sick, according to Perez Hilton's blog. When the paramedics arrived, they concluded everything was fine and that Sleeping Beauty, she was just exhausted and in need of some water ASAP. Sooner than later, girl was getting back and setting up her channeling of Elizabeth Taylor as scheduled, and got to make that money, honey. But in a little LILO fashion, she needed to let the world know that everything was going good for her. She tweets, "Note to self, after working 85 hours in 4 days and being up all night shooting, be very aware that you might pass out of exhaustion and 7 paramedics might, capital letters, show up at your door. Hopefully they're cute. Otherwise, it will be a real letdown. Back on set. Ha. Yes, Lindsay, cute paramedics are always preferred. We're glad that she's okay. Lifetime's Liz and Dick is going to be a jewel, or at least it should be after drama around it like this." Well, there's a lovely fine picture of poor little Lindsay Lohan just walking about. But you know what? Old girl is doing kind of well. You know, she's still hanging in there. You know, she was going through all her drama and stuff, being whacked out of her mind. And that's what happens with child stars, man. They get corrupted by the corruptible around them. But we bouncing off to another little subject of what's in the gossip news. Oh, my God. Courtney Cox and David Arquette blow some birthday candles together. Dun, dun, dun. In case anybody didn't hear, Courtney Cox and David Arquette are getting divorced. And I can't believe that. They were such a good couple in Scream, or actually kind of scary. But it says here, according to Perez Hilton, congratulations, guys. You totally deserve it. After recently filing divorce papers, the Friends duo stayed true to their word of maintaining a bestie status on their Raising Little Coco. On Friday, all three celebrated Courtney's birthday at a Malibu restaurant with some family time. We are so proud of you, hearts, capital letters. You know, it's kind of cute, but kind of sad at the same time that, you know, things had to go downhill for poor little Courtney and poor little David. So, what else is in our gossip news? We got to jump over here to Coco Perez. Coco me Coco. Coco be Coco. Ooh, what is going on in Coco's world? Some people have never heard the name, but I will never shy away from it. J-Lo. J-Lo dances again in another sparkly catsuit. Now, I don't know about David Perez's or Coco Perez's taste, but J-Lo's ass just seems to be getting way too big for her bridges, kind of literally. I mean, she was cute a while back, but man, she was cute back in the day when it was in living color. You can do what you want to do in living color. Well, which is taking that first run-of-the-mill break for another 2-minute session. We're going to be bouncing back to you live after this short commercial.
El respeto a la libertad y al pensamiento ajeno, a un delente más infeliz es mi fanatismo. Si muero me matan será por eso, José Martí.
Intenten callarme más, no me digan más, lo que tengo que escribir, lo que tengo que cantar. Intenten callarme más, no me digan más, lo que tengo que escribir, lo que tengo que cantar. Intenten callarme más, no me digan más, lo que tengo que escribir, lo que tengo que cantar. Intenten callarme más, no me digan más, lo que tengo que escribir, lo que tengo que cantar.
¿Qué se creen estos cabrones porque andan en Suzuki? Me van a controlar, ahora quién me va a callar, ahora me toca a mí hablar, lo toman para censurar. Otro pesado, sin miedo y sin tensión.
one thing is we got rockin' and poppin' Ybor City at the moment, but you know what? Poor Witchy, he's stuck all in the house with no broomstick to fly away. But broomstick, unfortunately, is broken at the moment. But Witchy can still sing a song. Witchy wants to give a special shout-out to some of his going-to-be celebrity friends here on the Facebook. And we want to give our first shout-out to the aspiring and otherwise trying to make it rockin' and poppin' it film producer. Her name is Amber Awake on Facebook. But she's popping out some of the most interesting videos out there at the moment of things that she do. Unfortunately, we can't pop out one of them yet, but we're going to be trying to spread the love. We're going to be trying to spread the love of some of her stuff that she's rolling out there. So far, what it is she has a funny video called Disclaimer, but she's rising and rolling in the deep up here. But if you want to check out some of Amber's fabuloso videos at www.facebook.com/Amber Awake, she got some funny videos rolling on out there. I did have a caller who wanted to call in. Unfortunately, my caller who did want to call in is trying to call me through my regular conventional telephone. And I'm sorry, dear friend, it doesn't work that way. You got to call Witchy directly on the show. Witchy is getting kind of sparse for content. Witchy is making his live show with you all on this and making before this his much funnier and much more vivacious YouTube show. So Witchy's going to recap what he already did on his other show, and he's going to bring it on to this one. Now, the last show that Witchy did, he's reporting news from down here in the Tampa Bay area. So Witchy's just going to throw down another slide and vine of what he was talking about before. We had yesterday a little broadcast in reference to our governor down here in the lovely state of Florida, Governor Rick Scott. Excuse the impression, I was just blowing my nose. Governor Rick Scott is a sign that he would like to be the voice of the Tampa International Airport. Now, if you ever hear this guy talk, listen to me here.
Yes, hello. This is Governor Rick Scott welcoming you to the state of Florida. Thank you for visiting. We hope that you have a nice day here in the state of Florida and you'll return in your trip. Maybe we will gamble with you.
I mean, come on, really? This is what the boy sounds like. So, ha, 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 ha. And basically, this cat wants to try to be the voice during the Republican National Convention and just keep talking and talking and talking and talking and talking over and over again. And people will want to kill him. They'll want to murder him. I'm telling you now, and I like Rick Scott. He's a cute guy. He's a cute guy, and you know, here's the thing. Even though he might look like Skeletor, even though he might be a bastard politician, he does have a sense of humor. He decided when he met the King of Spain not to say hello, not to walk up to the monarch and shake his hand and say, "Hi, I'm Governor Rick Scott. It's nice to meet you, Your Highness." Or he walked in, "Hi, I just heard that you tried to kill an elephant and you got hurt. I like to see elephants. I don't like to shoot it." And then he doesn't figure out, awkward pause. Wait a minute. Let me not continue rambling on with my bullshit. Let me go on farther. Yeah, my wife, she's just as dumb as I am. And she wants to talk about it, too. And she's like, "Oh, yeah. I think when we were down that part of Africa, we got chased by an elephant in a Jeep. You should have been there with us." And then Rick Scott had the balls afterwards to go to the king in the same breath almost. And be like, "Why did you tell us the story about how you hurt your hip?" But, here's the thing. Oh, look, people are just hearing about, yes. People are blowing me up on Facebook that they ain't calling. I want to give people the number in case they do want to jump on our live show. The live show, if any guests want to call in, is area code 646-478-4906. Jump on the line. Right now I got a special little guest of Comrade Al who's just rolling in. Comrade Al, how you doing tonight, brother?
Hey, I got good news.
You got good news. We got to hold it. This is the Witchy now.
The radical cheerleaders, Stephanie Nugent, out of St. Petersburg, Florida, has just responded to the link from our last show. And I showed you earlier, YouTube of the radical cheerleaders, these anti-Obama cheerleaders, and they're also anti-RNC. So we get Stephanie to recruit these cheerleaders to protest the RNC. Now that I'm back in touch with her, and we can do some real progress.
Well, there's nothing like beautiful ladies that don't like Republicans. I always like stuff like that.
Or Democrats.
And look, Democrats suck too. And you know, the last Democrat I tried to help
them, like have them dance a song to like Biggie or something, like do a little cheerleader song, and then we'll be like out with Romney, out with Obama, or something like that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to roll on something. So no, well, I want to really protest Rick Scott trying to think that he's going to be the voice of the Tampa International Airport. I mean, have you seen that clown?
Well, Rick Scott thinks he's the king of Florida, but you know what happened with the king of Spain.
Yeah, no, that's what I was just talking about. You know, it was terrible. You know, he's an ass clown of the first order. You know, he crowned
himself like Napoleon, you know, with his bald little head.
Yeah, you know, and here's the thing. Look, I mean, come on. He's the biggest drug dealer since Tony Montana. He owns all the hospitals here. I initially applauded him in New York because he was like the first, you know, the first governor going against oxycodone and Percocet abuse, right? But when the reality, it turns out that all of his hospitals are now the ones that are supplying it. So he just made it so he was just making more money. I mean, he's a big, you know, he's a drug lord. That's what our little Rick Scott is. But, you know, one thing that we roll in on here is that we're trying to get something funny. Man, have you seen anything crazy in the news of these past days, brother?
Anything like that zombie who's eating that guy's face in Miami? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was a terrible thing. And I always try to tell people, like I wrote in my column this week, you know, don't trust anybody, even if it's a fine woman, crossing the MacArthur Causeway, because you might be eaten. People don't realize that part of Miami is dangerous. But Al,
Witchy Tom? I don't think I've
I think it's
on Witchy Tom yet.
You have made it on Witchy Tom. This is the evil and vivacious Witchy Hour.
Call it when it's ending, or I don't know. But this is like my first chance to get on Witchy Tom.
Yeah, you have. If my audience of Witchy Tom has not been introduced properly to Comrade Al, one of my comrades in the army.
We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on Blog Talk. We are spreading the word.
We are spreading the word of love. Me and Comrade Al are heavily in
revolution of love.
We're in the revolution of love.
Another one's Occupy RNC, but you know what? Witchy Tom, Occupy RNC, Al Suarez, we're all together.
We roll in the deep, people. You know, and plus we're trying to make it satirical and otherwise maniacal for these lovely folks. I run out of content on my live show too fast, brother. But we've got a couple listeners and a couple things.
And then see if they want to talk about the three wise men. Remember the three wise men?
Which one? Oh, the three wise. The
Romney bill, the former camp.
Oh, I know, brother. No. Well, what I'm rolling on now is I'm doing Cornel. What was I gonna do? Oh, I am gonna do a crank call, but the only problem is it won't let me call out.
Why don't you do that?
No, I'm gonna try to do on my next not live, but my conventional broadcast. We're gonna be rolling out a crank call, but. Hey, one thing we're rolling out, Al, is we doing mad plugins for all our peoples out there. Al, do you have anything you want to plug for my show?
You're breaking up. Is the show over?
I'm switching out to Witchy's Words of Wisdom because I get tired because now I've been doing about 2 hours of broadcasting. But do you have any plugins for anything you're doing? Because I'm trying to plug people.
What was it like after the raid? Or you can't talk about that on the show.
No, I'm trying to keep this a satirical show. If I get too political,
we got to get Sarah. We got to get Sarah on the Witchy Tom show, man. She was really friendly.
Yeah, people have to come on. This is a fun show. It is a fun show. What we're going to roll out now is Al. One thing I'm doing, man, is you want to plug anything before you leave my show? You throw in your Occupy RNC, brother.
Well, besides Occupy RNC. You know, Witchy Tom is a funny guy. That's the alter ego of Tommy.
It's the evil part of Tommy. Well, Brother Al, I want to thank you for coming on. Al is one of the leaders and co-founders of the Occupy RNC, a brave journalist, a vivacious activist, and otherwise a madman of politics like myself. Witchy Tom saying good evening to my brother Al. Al, we look forward to you possibly hitting up the show tomorrow, but Brother Al, any last departing words before we kill you? Are you there? He done gone. All right. Well, Brother Al, we would appreciate you jumping into the Crazy Witchy Tom show. And yes, Witchy Tom might be a fire troll, but he's a fire troll on a roll. Well, we plug it in now. Another one of our comrades out there. I don't want to say this brother's web store wrong, but I got a good friend of mine who's just opened up a small business up in northern New Hampshire. But he sells website. He's been doing this for many years now, but he sells massage chairs, espresso machines, kitchen, and also bathroom stuff. You ever looking to get the best deals on stuff? It's called poshhosh.com, which would be Papa, Oscar, Sierra, Hotel, Alpha, Utah, Sierra.com, POSHHAUS. If you're ever looking for good and vivacious deals, just tell him that Witchy Tom sent you from his program. Anytime, anyway, anyhow, Witchy Tom is going to be departing you momentarily, but Witchy Tom cannot leave you without giving you his Witchy Tom words of wisdom. Well, Witchy Tom had did another word of wisdom before, but remember, Witchy Tom always says, karma's a bitch. Ha, ha, ha. Witchy Tom wants to lay it out there that people don't bring bad juju upon themselves without getting more bad juju brought upon them. That's to say in another way that don't try to throw shit at your neighbor because it's just going to come back to bite you in the ass. The best thing to do is try to get along with everyone around you. Your enemies might hate you, but you know what? In the end, love everybody because you know what? Life is beautiful, baby. Now, Witchy Tom will be departing now. We're going to give our last shout-out to a wonderful aspiring musician up there in the beautiful state of New York. We shouted out her last night. Her name is Amanda Ashley. You can find her on Facebook. Amanda Ashley is an original composer and otherwise does renditions of beautiful, lovely songs. She plays guitar and piano. She's up there in Rochester, New York. But you can find Amanda Ashley at, let's see what Amanda's website is. Amanda Ashley, actually, you just Google her on YouTube, she comes up. So the three people we shout out today is Amanda Ashley, aspiring singer, Amber Awake, aspiring videographer, and we got the wonderful store of Poshhosh, POSHHAUS.com, supplying you with all your household needs and requirements. Once again, we want to thank Comrade Al for breaking out here. Comrade Al, activist, journalist, and otherwise extraordinaire, one of my best friends in the life. We want to give a special thanks out to all that audience that participated and listened. And remember, catch Witchy Tom at www.facebook.com/Witchy, Google or YouTube Witchy, or otherwise hit up his articles at thejailpaper.com to see what type of criminality he is rubbing up or otherwise rubbing out. Once again, we want to thank you for joining in on the Witchy Tom program. And remember, Witchy Tom's broadcasting every night at midnight. You're welcome to call. The telephone number to call Witchy on the live broadcast would be area code 646-478-4906. And remember, once again, Witchy loves karma. And this has been another wonderful Witchy Tom program from the Witchy Hour. We're leaving you now with yet another tune and balloons to leave you with Biggie, Biggie, Biggie.